7 days to Christmas and preparations are on, and the mood of the nation no doubt reflects the season. Not just Christmas celebrations are getting the people busy, but also other end of the year activities. Anyway, must one go the extra mile to make the celebration worth the while? Obviously not. So what needs to be done during the Yuletide and measures that need to be taken to be steady financially and healthy in January? Our focus on Panorama today, reaching you live from Abuja. I am Elizabeth Omori. We'll be right back. Functional education is the greatest weapon in the fight against terrorism. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu stated this while presenting a scholarship grant of 1 million naira each to 5 kidnapped students of Federal University of Dutsinma, Katsina State after their rescue. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo brings us details.
The well-being of Safiya Isa, Hasiya Abubakar, Ramat Adamu, Fatima Bilu and Fatima Muhammad became a subject of national concern following their abduction from their students' private lodge at Dutsinma area of Katsina State on October 4 this year. After about 70 days in captivity, efforts of the intelligence community, coordinated by the Office of the National Security Advisor, led to their rescue, much to the delight of their parents and other Nigerians. While it lasted, the thought of the ordeal was not far from the mind of Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, who was happy to receive them in her office. Accompanied by some of their parents, they were led to the villa by a representative of the National Security Advisor, Brigadier General Olutayo Adesui.
For the First Lady to meet them and also speak to them and let them know that the Federal Republic of Nigeria is in support of their education and everything that has to do with their welfare.
Joining their parents and the academic community to welcome them back, the First Lady says rather than discourage them, their ordeal should strengthen their passion for education.
Already, I have been briefed on the courage you have shown so far, and I encourage you to turn this episode in your lives into a story of triumph. By ensuring that you continue to learn, you can rewrite the story of your individual lives and your communities and join in the fight against terrorism.
To demonstrate our commitment and that of our pet project, Renewed Hope Initiative, to their education, the First Lady presented ladies with scholarship grant of 1 million naira and a laptop each.
Not only that, the government is giving your parents 2 million each, for all they've been through, and also the VC is sum of 1 million.
With a scholarship grant in hand and a laptop to boot, the freed students and their family can now turn their back on the ugly episode and look forward to a brighter future.
All thanks to the First Lady, the mother of the nation. We really appreciate her effort. We will never forget this in our life. Education is the best, and we must proceed our education.
We are grateful. May Allah keep protecting them.
And we also appreciate the NSA for an excellent job. We pray that may Allah continue to bless them.
The scholarship grants to the students bring to 47 the total number of beneficiaries in the National Scholarship Program of the Renewed Hope Initiative. In the State House, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
Just a week to the Christmas, that is, the countdown has begun. But are people still showing that eagerness to celebrate the festival? Let's get reactions from residents in Lagos.
With the carols in the hair and lips of everyone, the urge for memorable Christmas could be overwhelmingly joyful as families race against time and budgets for the celebration. The streets are usually alive, drawing inspiration from colorful decorations and well-wishers, complementing fruitful relationships with hampers and gifts. Nature is usually the most friendly, sending waves of cool breeze that surely attest it is Christmas season. Lately, it seems these fever-pitch preparations are missing, as observed on some streets in Lagos.
When I was growing up, this festive period, the anticipation, the ecstasies, my God, you can't compare it with what we have in the present state of affairs now.
Iboro Joseph recalls growing up during Christmas. He compared it to now and admitted there is a difference. His is not the only impression.
For me, I'll take my children out. I'll do what I can. Gone are the days where, it's compulsory, you must get them new wares, These days, you have to school them, let them know that the economy is a bit harsh. You can take them out for fun, go to the beach, catch fun together.
Our father makes it a point of duty to buy Christmas clothes for us every Christmas. But when we get, now I'm old, I have my own children now. I don't even buy Christmas clothes. So, things have changed, really.
Everyone I talked to were convinced that it is one of the post-COVID-19 pandemic realities, coupled with the fragile state of the nation's economy.
We are still hoping on God that something good will come out.
Despite these developments, some Nigerians still believed that Christmas is still a special time for them, even if the preparatory bustle is no longer there.
It has not removed the fact that it's a time of joy, it's a time of gratitude to God, so it still remains the same.
There'll be parties for hosting, marshmallows for toast.
Of course, it's still a time of joy. And to speak more on preparations for the festival is a leadership coach, a public analyst, and a legal practitioner, Mr. Samuel Chukwu, who joins us in the studio. Mr. Chukwu, thank you so much for joining us on Panorama.
Thank you for having me, Madam Elizabeth.
All right. I'm sure you can feel the ambience, the breeze already. So, what's different this time around?
Thank you once again for having me. And like was rightly stated during your report, Christmas is a time to celebrate. It's a time to express joy. Even the weather lets us know that we're in a very festive season. But what is different this time is the fact that we all understand the fragile state of the economy, coupled with various economic indices. However, it does not dampen the fact that this is a time to celebrate and reflect. And there is a strategic importance of Christmas. The fact that it happens at the end of the year. And that's the time when individuals and corporate organizations use the opportunity to reset. And then marketers try to sell their wares. So it's a very special time.
It's a very special festival, a season. Most times people say you have to be prudent, you have to know how you spend, you shouldn't spend so much. But people spend, we spend this season.
True.
From the angle of a life coach, a leadership coach, what should be the attitude this time around?
Very well.
When we talk about spending.
Yes, I like the word you use because attitude determines everything. You can have two people go through the same set of circumstances and come up with different perspectives because of their attitude. When I was growing up, it was said, cut your clothes according to your size. As we grow older, we now discover that your clothes may not be up to your size. So that phrase had to be rephrased to cut your coat according to your cloth. So many of us do not have the luxury of a very wide material to cut our clothes to. So we have to be very prudent. There's a word the scientists call it. It's called equilibrium. And equilibrium stands for balance. Nigerians must understand that this is the time for balance. On the one hand, we should celebrate. We have every reason to celebrate because we have life. On the other hand, we must celebrate with prudence in mind because we know that the longest month of the next year, January, is coming very soon.
January is always very long, actually. Course, yeah. But 14 days to 2024. The school fees for parents to pay, we have the rent, so many financial commitments, but really must we go the extra mile? Some would say, okay, Christmas, I'm not a Christian, or I don't really believe in the festival, but for some, the New Year is the big deal. Must we go the extra mile if we are to consider the situation economically?
Yes, very well. Let me start by stating that as a lawyer, we know that Chapter 4 of the Constitution contains the fundamental human rights. But there's a right that Nigerians have coined that is not in that constitution, our constitution, and that is the right to enjoyment. Nigerians always want to exercise their right to enjoy the festive season. However, considering the fact that life does not end in December, in fact, January presents its own peculiar challenges, what I'll tell Nigerians is this. You can celebrate, in fact, you should celebrate because you have every cause to celebrate. You are alive, you have your children, you have your loved ones around. However, the phrase or the word celebration is relative. How you celebrate is as important as celebrating. During the course of your very wonderful report, a man mentioned that he used to have Christmas clothes. Now he doesn't. Of course, I felt bad for the children because I mean Christmas clothes are very special. But I want to assume that he has other ways of celebrating with his children. What matters is the fact that everyone has their own mode of marking this occasion. To some, it might be an in-house cooked dinner where all members of the family gather at the table. That is celebration. To others, it might be going to the beach. For instance, we in Abuja, of course, we don't have a beach. So, but we still celebrate nonetheless. We do not have to break the bank to celebrate. Just find out something of significance. And I can tell you, growing up in Abuja, because I was born, bred, and buttered in this great city, in those days, I've seen the city evolve. In those days, I remember NTA used to have this children's party from December 1st, the very first day of December. But that has now been shortened. But we still celebrate. So celebration is relative. Everyone should look at their purses. You do not have to compete with anyone.
At all.
What matters is that you have a time to celebrate with your loved ones. I think that's most important.
Okay. Now, my final question to you is this. The countdown has already begun to 2024. What would be your expectations for the year? And I'm talking about from the angle of the government.
Very well. The way our Creator has made the world is that the world has been divided into times and seasons. And at the end of one time, it gives us the opportunity to prepare for the other season. The government of Nigeria has shown its commitment to revamping the economy. And like I always say, just like every surgical procedure, it starts with a bit of pain. But as time goes on, it will get better. This is an opportunity for the government to look through the various economic indices, because the numbers do not just speak for themselves. They tell us something, and come up with a blueprint, come up with a very practical blueprint that would reflect the current socio-economic structure of the country. I believe so much that the government knows what it's doing from the speeches we've heard from the president and from government officials. However, Nigerians look forward to action, and I believe that the government will act accordingly. I look forward to 2024 with hope, renewed hope, if you like.
Life coach and public affairs analyst Samuel Chuku, I want to thank you so much for joining us on Panorama today. Thank you for your thoughts.
And Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you. Compliments of the season.
Yes.
You're still watching Panorama live from our studio here in Abuja. Let's take a break now. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Chairman of the House of Representatives Committee on Public Accounts, Bamidele Salam, says 2024 budget is being properly scrutinized to ensure that the critical needs of the people are captured and reflected in the budget. Bamidele Salam, who also represents Ede North, Ede South, Egbedore and Ijibu Federal Constituency, gave the assurance at an education endowment and business empowerment program for the people of his constituency held at Ede, Osun State. Femi Afariugun has details.
For 4 years, Honorable Bamidele Salam has been consistent in empowering different strata of his constituency in Ede North, Ede South, Egbedore and Ijibu Federal Constituency. The lawmaker has again facilitated operational equipments, which include 80 grinding machines, 80 swing and industrial machines, 80 air dryers, 80 generators, and 80 deep freezers.
So this is what we can do to complement what Governor Ademola Adeleke is doing in the various communities to ensure that we then touch the individual needs of members of the communities to empower them to be able to earn more in their various businesses.
The lawmaker, who is the House Committee Chairman on Public Accounts, assured Nigerians that the House is doing proper scrutiny of the budget.
The implementation of whatever is passed is another area that we are interested in. And I can assure you that as a Public Accounts Committee, we are going to ensure that there's value for money and there is a faithful implementation of the programs and projects and policies encapsulated in the 2024 budget.
Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke applauded the initiative of the lawmaker, urging beneficiaries to utilize the equipment properly. 650 students from various tertiary institutions also received bursary of 25,000 naira each and scholarship, while 25 secondary schools, both public and private, got laptop computers.
Actually, it is not only me, it is going to help every one of us, as in the economy of ours now. A little can help, and even this is much than a little.
I've been dreaming about these instruments for a long time. I pray may Almighty Allah continue to bless him.
Cars were also presented to chairmen of local governments under his constituency. From Ede, Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
Still on humanitarian gestures, in the quest to boost the morale of troops on the front line and put smiles on the faces of wives of fallen heroes, the Nigerian Army Officers' Wives Association has donated food items to widows and women within the Mogadishu Army Barracks community in Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the gesture is in the spirit of the season.
For them, such act of kindness is a show of love and commitment to their well-being.
God will also remember her. God will also put a smile in her face also. Thank you to our daddy for putting smile in the face, our friends, our widows. We appreciate her. May God continue to be with her, continue to open door for her.
The National President of Nigerian Army Officers' Wives Association assured beneficiaries that the Nigerian Army will continue to promote the cause of the home front to build peaceful and healthy families as their husbands defend the territorial integrity of the nation.
This event is organized as a demonstration of my commitment, love, and solidarity for the barracks community. It is also a forum to come together in harmony and celebrate the spirit of Christmas. As one great community, bonded in love, unity, and respect for each other.
Food items were distributed. The president encouraged the women to remain focused and embrace initiatives by the Nigerian Army to better their lives. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And Governor Basi Ocho of Cross River State has vowed to strengthen the traditional institution to take its pride of place in society, believing that this is critical to entrenching values that will promote peace and socio-economic development. Governor Ocho said this while swearing in the paramount rulers of Ikom, Akpama and Obudu local government areas. Justina Aiton brings us details.
Of the Traditional Rulers Council is full to capacity, with traditional rulers and their spouses, members of the Cross River State Executive Council and other politicians awaiting commencement of the swearing-in. Shortly after arrival, Governor Otu proceeds to issue certificates and staff of office to the three paramount rulers, describing the traditional institution as partners with government in the delivery of dividends of democracy to the people.
What we've done in 6 months, people will not believe it. We've laid a proper foundation for the economic progress of Cross River State.
Earlier, Chairman Cross River State's Traditional Rulers Council administered the oath of office, informing that paramount rulers in the states are highly endowed with intellectual capacity that can be tapped by government for growth and development.
This institution is old. We are trying to reverse it. We have to go back to the old. That is where we will receive peace. That is where things will be all right.
The newly sworn-in paramount rulers promise to support government in the sustenance of peace in their various domains.
Our job is as big as the atmosphere. We want you to do more to help us. As a prince, you will not hesitate to help your class where you belong to.
The paramount rulers sworn into office are His Royal Highness Minentakon Atangba of Ikom, His Royal Majesty of Agbo Ewa Emani of Akampa, and His Royal Majesty Oso Felix Okudare of Obudu. In Calabar, Justina Etam, NTA News.
To mining, the federal government has reiterated its commitment towards promoting professionalism in the Nigerian extractive industry by checking and eliminating quackery in a sector that is acclaimed to be Nigeria's huge source of wealth. The Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, stated this during the 13th induction ceremony of the Council of Nigerian Mining Engineers and Geoscientists. The minister notes that the era in which the country relies on oil for its economic development is over, and President Bola Tinubu is committed to looking inward for economic diversification.
I want to seize this opportunity in furthering the accreditation seriousness of this government and of COMEG. As from today, no mining engineer or geoscientist will be recognized by the Ministry of Solid Minerals Development without being registered by COMEG. So the Federal Ministry of Solid Minerals will not patronize any mining engineer or geoscientist that's not registered or certified by COMEG. And all reports that come into our ministry must carry the stamp of accreditation of COMEG.
We must move to clean energy. Who are the driver of this clean energy? They are the geologists, they are the geophysicists, they are the mining engineers that will extract the mineral, they are the metallurgy that will process it. We have lithium now all over Nigeria. What are we going to do with it? Electric car is the in thing. The next 20-30 years, all these diesel, petroleum-driven vehicle will be a thing of the past.
Now to military relations. The Minister of State for Defense, Mohammed Bello, says Nigeria will strengthen its military bilateral relations with us to further enhance the fight against terrorism and other organized and sundry crimes in Nigeria. In a statement by the Director of Press and Public Relations to the Minister, the agreement was reached when Mohammed Bello paid a visit on the U.S. Congresswoman Betty McCollum at the U.S. Capitol, while highlighting the significance of the existing bilateral ties between Nigeria and the U.S. The minister reaffirmed President Bola Tinubu's commitment to eradicating terrorism through collaborative efforts. Congresswoman Betty McCollum, who is currently the leader of the United States House Committee on Appropriation for Defense, expressed United States commitment to support Nigeria in its efforts to combat terrorism and other security threats through intelligence sharing, training and military hardware production. Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State has flagged off the construction of 2.6 kilometers internal road in Bauchi State University. Awal Abdullahi reports that the governor, while inaugurating the project, said it is part of his administration's commitment towards providing conducive learning environment for students.
Governor Bala Mohammed, while flagging off the construction of 2.6 kilometers internal roads at the Bauchi State University, Gadao, said the project is part of his administration's commitment toward provision of conducive learning environment in both primary, secondary and tertiary institutions across Bauchi State.
Since the inception of our administration in 2019, our commitment to education has been unwavering, and it is reflected in the various policies and programs that we have implemented. In our pursuit of accessibility, primary education, accessible primary education, we have undertaken the construction of 5,000 classrooms, thereby creating an environment conducive to learning for our young minds.
Other speakers at the event applauded the governor and described the project as a welcome development. Also inaugurated was the newly constructed building of the Faculty of Sciences at the university. In Bauchi, Awal Abdullahi, NTA News.
And that's Panorama this afternoon. Thank you for your time. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Good afternoon.